All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how it's called Mystery Babylon the Great for a reason, right? And part of that reason why in the scriptures Babylon the Great is called Mystery Babylon the Great is because Yahweh kept the identity of what Babylon the Great was, so that only Yahweh's prophets and people that Yahweh is set up to have the understanding to believe what a prophet speaks can understand what that is talking about, man. All right. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. Surely Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So anything secretive in the Bible gets revealed unto the people that Yahweh is either set up to explain these things or set up to be able to receive the message that's sent, man. All right. And that's why a lot of people can't understand that Babylon the Great is America. All right. A lot of people can't understand that, man. And that's why they try and come up with it being all these other different things, because they love America, right? And if America was Babylon the Great, then that would mean that America has to be destroyed, and they can't sleep at night if they think that that's going to happen to the place that they love more than any other place in the world. All right. This is Revelation chapter 17. Revelation chapter 17 and I'll jump to verse 5. And in fact, I'll go verse 4. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right. So this place was called Mystery Babylon the Great. All right. Meaning that it's not going to just tell you that I'm talking about America, because if it was written that the place that was full of all of these things was called America, then as soon as America got made as a country, right, everybody would have came up against that place, rather than thinking that that place is some kind of haven of society and some kind of paradise, which is what people think even still now. Right. Now, when you go to Revelation 18, it gives some more details on Babylon the Great, right? To where when you understand these things and you do research into these things, you'll understand clearly that it has to be talking about America. All right. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. So that's a few things, right? The first thing says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, meaning that all these different countries on the earth have trusted in what America says goes, trusted that the American way is the best way to live, because there's nobody that says that there's a Abu Dhabi dream, right? There's no Saudi Arabian dream, right? There's no Chinese dream. There's no Japanese dream, right? There's no Filipino dream. There's no English dream, right? There's an American dream though, right? Everybody's heard of the American dream, right? No, but nobody's ever heard of the Nigerian dream, or of the Ghanaian dream, or of the Ivory Coast dream, right? Or of the Somalian dream. No one's ever heard of that. No one's ever heard of the Chilean dream or the Mexican dream. The Mexican dream is to have the American dream. There's no such thing as a Canadian dream, right? There's no such thing as a Mexican dream, man. But everyone's heard of the term American dream, and everyone's heard of that because in this world, because America's got the most when it comes to weaponry, right? In terms of how they spread it across the world, where it's not going to be mutually assured destruction, right? Because they don't have more nukes than Russia, right? But they have more weapons in certain cases, man. They've spread their doctrine around the world and how they think people are supposed to live through that power that they have through the sword. So that's the first point that lets you know that America is Babylon the Great, right? And then it says, and all the kings of the earth have, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with it, because they copy the same things. They take their way that America lives and they start applying it to their countries, right? And that's why there's many countries that have joined on with America, man. And that's why when Donald Trump was president, he was telling all these other countries, you need to step up the amount of your GDP that you're putting towards buying weapons, man. Because us Americans, we're taking the brunt of the load, and you all need to fix up and start putting more of your money into it, right? Because you made this contract with us, so you need to step up your amount and put your money in. And then it says at the last bit, it says, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy, meaning that all these other countries in the world, or all these other places in the world, right? All these people that have something to sell and are prepared to bring it to you via boat are going to become rich through this place. Now, when you look up Americans' imports, right, it's the highest. That's the place that receives the most imports in the earth, meaning that that's the place that most people make money from bringing things into it, right? Merchants. Now, America is not the highest population country, and I believe that now India actually is the highest population country, right? But before that, it was China. Yet China still doesn't make as many imports, right? And doesn't spend as much on importation as America does, even though China and now India have got like 4 times the population of what America has. America's population is like, if I extend it a bit more, it's around like 350 million, and that's me rounding it up a couple of million, whereas China's is like 1.4, and then India's, I believe, is around the same, and maybe a couple more millions. But it's a high population place anyway. Definitely a billion people. Yet definitely a billion people. Just like China, definitely a billion people. But yet for some reason, that place does not have as much imports, man. Yet they've got more people. So that's how you know that America is a place that's living deliciously and is living delicately, man. Verse 4, and I heard a voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. Now, where in the earth can you find every single tribe of Israel who are the Lord's people? Where in the earth can you find every single tribe? Now, I've seen so-called Latinos in the United Kingdom, but it's very rare to see it, man. I've seen Ecuadorians to a certain degree, but that's like 1 or 2, you know? But if you was to go to America, you're going to see them, right? In California, you'll see them. In San Diego, you'll see them, you know? You'll see them in America, in New York, you'll see them there. You'll just see Latinos. You'll see the tribe of Issachar there. You'll see them. You'll see the tribe of Manasseh, right? You'll see the tribe of Gad there. You'll see Judah, right? You'll see Benjamin. You'll see Levi. You'll see all of the tribes, Zebulun, all of them. Ephraim, right? You ain't really going to see an Ephraimite in the United Kingdom. You ain't really going to see an Ephraimite in India, right? I don't think I've ever seen any footage in my life of a Mexican in India, or really even a Mexican in China. I'm sure that footage exists, but I've never seen it though. But you definitely will see footage of every single tribe of Israel in America. Any single person that you can think of, you will find them in America. Any kind of nationality that exists, you will see it in America. But the same cannot be said for everywhere else in the world, right? It's even rare to see a so-called Negro in China or in India. But you'll see an abundance of them in America, though. Millions of them. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she have rewarded you. Double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, which she have in the cup which she hath filled, fill to her. Double meaning that this place, Babylon the Great, is going to have done a lot of gruesome things to the Israelites, man. Now, which place on the earth can you say that about more than America? Every single tribe of the Israelites has got a grievance and can pull up some history on what America has did to them. All the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, I don't care which tribe it is, they can find something in some way that Americans have did something unto them. In particular, America. Never mind Esau in general, but they can definitely find America doing it. Every tribe, for starters, that landmass originally belonged to the tribe of Gad and the tribe of Issachar and the northern kingdom. That was their home. Verse 7. How much hath she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's what America thinks, man. They think we've got the world's greatest military. We've got the world's greatest this. Nobody wants to come up against us. If anyone comes against us, it would be a terrible shame. It would be a terrible shame if any of you other countries came up against us. I wouldn't recommend it. They think they're just so tough, right? And they talk so reckless, right? The American version of any person in this earth, the nation, the version of any people on this earth that lives in America is more proud than that same version in their homeland, right? The so-called Negro that lives in the so-called tribe of Judah, the Negro that lives in America, is way more degenerate than the version of the tribe of Judah that lives in West Africa. Anyway, that's for definite. They're the most proud, man. The ones in America, they're the most proud, and they think that they're just so rich in that. But then there's some of the ones in Nigeria that I've heard that they're proud too, though. But they're not as degenerate as the ones that are in America, man. And that goes for all the tribes. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her, because that place is getting ready to receive judgment, man. And everybody knows that if any country receiving fire or falling upon it was to make a big impact, America would be the place that would make the biggest impact. Yahweh destroying America would make a bigger impact than him destroying, I don't know, man, Saudi Arabia, right? And would make a bigger impact than him destroying Russia. Nobody ain't really trying to desire to go to Russia. It's cold over there, man. Nobody ain't trying to go there. But you can find every type of weather condition in America, though. That place definitely lives deliciously, man. Definitely. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and shall lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Now, didn't people lose their mind during the 9/11 thing? Didn't that change the whole world when people saw, man, how is this happening to America? And that was just one thing. How much more if the whole country experienced something even close to even just like that? Never mind the whole place being completely destroyed off the face of the earth, apart from specific men that have been chosen by God getting beamed up out of chariots. Verse 10, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Because that's all it's going to take for Yahweh to destroy that place, man. And for the people that can't see that he's talking about America, that's for you. That's on you. But it is talking about that place. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, because all these other countries don't be living like that, man. They don't be buying some of the things that Americans buy, man. They ain't got it like that even. You can't get the same kind of lifestyle in America as what you can find in anywhere else, man. I occasionally look up like mansions and stuff like that, right? And one of the places that I've noticed that seems to have some of the most extravagant mansions is where? America. Some of the most extravagant mansions, 50 million mansion, 500 million pound mansions and all that, just scattered all over you'll see them in America, man, where people have got gated communities and all that, Beverly Hills type houses, right? Houses in Colorado, houses in Ohio, houses in all these different places, and it's just how big houses in Texas and all of these things, all these different huge mansions and properties. It's in America, right? Because that place, the people that go there, they've got an abundance of wealth, man. An abundance. The people that have got all these throwaway fake companies that they're using to funnel money, they're doing it for America. Verse 12, and the merchandise of gold and of silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. Or anything you want, you can find it in America. Any type of food you like, you can find it in America, because there'll be if you like Brazilian food, guess what? There'll be some Brazilian over there that's opened a restaurant, or there'll be an Edomite that's got Brazilians working in the back while he owns it at the front, and they'll be selling all authentic Brazilian food because they got Brazilians working in there. Someone's Brazilian nan, or someone's Brazilian mother, or someone's Brazilian auntie, or someone's Brazilian uncle or father is gonna be working up in there making authentic food, man, that tastes just like if you would have had it back in Brazil, right? Same thing with any other type of meal. Any clothing brand that you like, you can get it in America. Whereas if an American comes over to England, sometimes they'll say, "What, you ain't got?" They'll say, "What, you ain't got this store, or what, you ain't got that store," right? They'll be complaining because what they are used to having in America, they can't find it in England, right? For example, think something as simple as cereal, right? Breakfast cereals that people eat, right? Over in some countries, they might have like two versions of a cornflakes, but over in America, they'll have about 25 different variations of one type of cereal, of one cornflakes, right? Or they'll have 25 different versions of the same chocolate. They might have a Snickers bar. In America, in England, we might have a Snickers bar, for example, right? A Snickers bar, and then a Snickers bar, bigger one or smaller one. In America, they have an almond one, a peanut butter almond one, a cashew one, a peanut butter and cashew one, a white chocolate one. They'll have 25 different versions of one chocolate bar, man. Because that place is a place that's got anything you want, man. Anything you want that you want, you can get it in America. Anything, right? It's all over there, man. They've got everything there. That place is basically like one big theme park for adults. America is. It's basically a business, man. That's got anything you want up in there. There's literally nothing that you could want in your life that you cannot find in America. Nothing. You'll find every language spoken there. All of it, man. Everything. And that's why they're so proud. And that's why they're saying that always goes out that Americans don't travel anywhere else, because they think that they have it all wherever they are. Now their culture and their actual mindset is stupid and it's messed up, and they don't really know that much apart from the brothers that believe that they're Israelites. They're the ones that have knowledge, and then obviously the wicked elites, they know what's going on too. On their side, they know what the real battle going on in the earth is, right? But there's everything you can find in America. So how could you not believe that America is Babylon the Great, a place that's made all these merchants rich, a place that's got all the things that you could possibly want in there, including even souls of men, in everything, man. Any kind of oppressive thing any kind of weird thing that somebody might be into, they can find it in America, man. And that's why they've even got a designated sin city in America, Las Vegas, right? They've got it all, man. So how could you not believe that America is Babylon the Great? Verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. Now you can't get all kind of things over in the UK, right? There might be a higher quality of certain things, of certain fruits, and that it'd be less GMO. But America's got all kind of things, man. Whereas if somebody wants to go Disneyland, it's just a place. I'm not trying to say I'm trying to go Disneyland, but let's say somebody wants to go Disneyland, they gotta go to America, and then I believe there's one in Paris. But an American doesn't have to go Paris, right? They can stay in their country and travel that landmass because it's there. They've got it there, man. Anything that you could possibly desire to see is in America. And then another country might make a variation of whatever's in America, man. Verse 15, and the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. Because all the luxurious stuff that I was speaking about that's in America is going to ultimately be destroyed anyway. But yet the fact still stands that if you had to pick a place that's made every other country rich by doing business with this place, right, you would have to agree that it's America. And then excuse me if I don't say the right term, but America's got the highest debt, right? America's got that's not the term I was looking for, but America's got the highest, I think the term's GDP, gross domestic product or whatever. It's got the highest debt based off that kind of thing, man. It's in the, and the people say that it's in the trillions or whatever. And why is that? Because they've just lived deliciously without care, built up debt, right? But because they got the sword, and because they say to people, you need our dollars to deal in oil, they can get people to deal with them in fornication, man. And you got to do what I say, because I got that sword. And if you don't want to deal with me, like according to what I say, I'm going to bring that sword upon you. And that's why now all these other countries are starting to hate this whore, because they've been given, they was made by Yahweh to give their kingdoms unto them. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 17, for God have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And that's talking about America, man. Right? All these other countries have gave their power onto America. All these other countries in NATO and all that, they've gave their power onto America, man. Right? And NATO just recently had more additions of a new edition of Finland, right? And Ukraine wanted to join on to NATO because of which country? Which country is it that all of these countries are thinking about whenever they're wanting to join NATO? It's America, because that's the country that's really the head of that. Really, man, that's the country that's the backing of that place. Without them in there, the sword ain't strong in that contract, right? Revelation chapter 18 and verse 17. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Because of course they're going to think it's great, because they've become rich from that place. And that's why people still now to this day want to say why. If we say that we want America to be destroyed, they'll say why. Because they don't care about moral code. They don't care about ethics. They don't care about good versus bad. They don't care about good versus evil. They don't care about right versus wrong. They care about what's my portfolio saying. They care about how rich am I going to get from this deal. They care about what's the profit margin on that, right? They care about what percentage of increase did I get off this? What percentage of interest can I put on that? They care about money, all these people, man. And money blinds the heart, man. Right? Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So because these people have got money, they don't really care to a certain degree about the oppression. They never cared about the oppression of what even they was experiencing. They damn sure didn't care about our oppression, and they still don't now. But they never cared about the oppression that they was experiencing, because they was making money. But now that money's starting to be hit, because America wants even more power, now they're starting to all of a sudden realize, hang on a minute, you know. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 18. And when they saw the smoke of a fire burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust upon their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. So the crying and the tears is not, let's just make this clear, the crying and the tears that is going to be shed for America, even by their former allies, is not because their former ally is gone. It's going to be because their best customer is gone. Their best customer that made them rich has now perished, man. And all the riches that exist in America all the gold, all the assets, and all these things that exist over in this land, well, over in that land, because I'm not there, over in that land, are going to be destroyed, man. Right? And nobody's going to get to have a benefit out of those things. No one's going to get to have a benefit out of all the Taco Bells, KFCs, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A's, McDonald's, Nike shops, right? Nike Junior, right? All of these TV stations, all of that's going to be gone. All of these big mansions that people had, all of the riches that people had over in America, all their properties that they had, their summer home, right? Their vacation home that they had in America, all these oligarchs, all these billionaires, all these underground bunkers that they had, all of it's going to go. All the wealth that exists in America, all the costliness, right? All the delicate things that they have over there, by where they was able to live deliciously, all the shopping malls, right? All the fine women that were wicked, they're gonna go too, man. All the things that people had in their mind that made them desire and thought about going to America, Sin City, California, Hollywood, right? All of that's gonna be gone. Madison Square Garden, right? The MGM Grand, right? Staples Center, all the basketball arenas, all the whole NBA league, that goes with America. Every single NBA basketball arena is in America. That NBA is going to be gone with it too, right? The National Hockey League is going to be gone with it. Major League Baseball is going to be gone with it. The WBC, WBA, WBO, all that's going to be gone with America, man. All the things that people enjoyed of America is going to be gone when America's gone, right? All the things that America stood for is going to be gone, man. All the songs based around America, all the movies, right? All of these movie sets where they have tours and all of that, that's all going to be gone, man. The Hollywood Star Walkway where you get a star on the Hollywood Boulevard and all of that, that's going to be gone too. All of it's going to go. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her, because that place is going to get destroyed because of what it did to the Israelites, man. From the tribe of Judah all the way to the tribe of Gad, man. From the first in the northern kingdom to the last in the northern kingdom. From the first in the southern kingdom to the last in the southern kingdom. From the first of Israel unto the last of Israel, man. From the greatest to the least. That place is being judged for what it did to our nation in general, man. And we ain't going to be crying when it gets destroyed. The scriptures clearly said we're going to be rejoicing over it. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh have avenged you on her. Right? And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall no more be found at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in there. And that's what I was going into, man. All of those great movie stars, right? All the singers, right? All the best R&B artists and all of that, right? All the whole movie industry, right? The whole Met Gala and all of these things that these people go to, all these BAFTA, not BAFTAs awards, all these like these award ceremonies that these people get together and talk and glory in how good, who is the best, or who's had the best album this year, or who's had the best single this year. All of that's going to be gone, man. All the glorious things that was in America, all the things where people are singing and praising America is going to be gone. And the trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatever shall craft, and no craftsman of whatever craft he be shall be found right, shall be found any more in thee. So there's not going to be no kind of person of any profession that's going to be found in America, because the time's going to come when no human's feet are ever going to touch the land of America ever again, forever. That place is going to be illegal to go to, right? It's going to be a place that's not even able to be inhabited by a human. It's not even going to be possible for them to be there anyway. Of whatever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all. And there ain't going to be no jobs in America. There ain't going to be no making America great again. That's not going to be said anymore, man. And America is Babylon the Great, man. It is. Verse 23, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived, because America was really doing witchcraft to be the top nation, man. All the things that they was promoting and talking about was really witchcraft. But the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Verse 24, and in her was found the blood of the, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and all that were slain upon the earth. So in America, there's a whole bunch of death. And that's what they don't like to talk about, man. They don't like to talk about the reason why this country's even considered as the greatest is because of what it did. Right? It's because of what it did, man. What did that place do to get the wealth that it's got? How many years of free hardcore slavery labor did they get for free? How many years of people's lives and work and hard labor did they force out of people, man, by the edge of the sword? So if you want to say why is that place to be destroyed, even if it wasn't Babylon the Great, it would still need to be destroyed. Just for the sake of what it did to the Israelites, man. But it is Babylon the Great. But even if it wasn't, that place would still have heavy judgment coming to it. Because according to Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44, all these places have to be destroyed. You know what? Let me get it. Let me read it. Because unlike these Christians, we actually read the Bible. Unlike them, we actually read the verses that people don't want to hear. You know? We'll read the verses that people think are the happy verses, but we'll also read the verses that people don't want to hear and have never heard before in their life. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44, and in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So even if America wasn't Babylon the Great, which it is, it would still have to be getting, what's the word? Broken in pieces and consumed, right? It would still have to be this prophecy that is going to break. There would still have to be this other kingdom that's coming that's going to break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, meaning that America would still have to be broken and consumed, right? But America is going to get the worst breaking and the worst consumption that anyone's ever seen in their life, man. That is what that place is going to receive, right? By the hands of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And you can get even more detail on this destruction as well, again, in Isaiah the 34th chapter. And you can connect the destruction of Babylon the Great with Isaiah the 34th chapter, but you can also connect the destruction of Babylon the Great with the nation of Esau, man. And you know what? Let me see, man. Let me go to that quickly as well. When you go to Jeremiah 49, right, it says this. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 17, and also Edom shall be a desolation, Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh. No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. And isn't it the same thing what it says about Babylon? Right? Doesn't it say the same thing about Babylon? Yes, it does. And it says the same thing again. It matches that prophecy again in Isaiah the 13th chapter. Isaiah chapter 13, right? And verse 19. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Because it's going to get destroyed by fire. Verse 20. Isaiah 13 and 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate in their desolate houses, and dragons in their desolate places. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. And that's talking about America, man. And that's why when you go to Revelation 18, right? When you go to Revelation 18, it says this, Revelation 18 and 1, in fact, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. That's talking about all these weird, crazy animals that are going to be able to find a home in America. Because there's certain animals that can handle living in some places, but there's other animals that cannot handle living there, right? There's other animals that cannot handle living in certain environments, man. But there's going to be certain wild, crazy animals, man, that are going to be able to handle living in the harsh environment. That's going to be what America is going to be turned into, man, after Yahweh destroys that place. And there's not going to be humans found there no more. There's not going to be working there, jobs, musicians. All of that's going to be gone, man. And it says mystery, Babylon the Great, for a reason, because you have to use some kind of spiritual discernment to understand that it's Babylon the Great. Yahweh's not just going to give everybody the easy way to find and understand things, man. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that, man. I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.